Hi, Trinity kids and families. This is Sabina, and I'm here to once again bring you your children's sermon for this week. So before I read our gospel today, I'd like you to think if there was ever a time when you were really angry. Now, not like a quick being angry, like if you're walking down the street with an ice cream cone and someone bumps into you and you drop the ice cream cone and you get angry at them. Not angry like that, but really angry. Like still angry hours later. Now, it's not a really nice feeling to think about, but sometimes there's a good reason to be really angry. Like if someone's being treated unfairly and they keep getting treated that way, even when the person treating them unfairly gets told that they're doing it. So in our gospel today, Jesus gets really angry because when he goes to the temple to pray, there's a bunch of people there selling all kinds of animals and exchanging money. So that would be like you coming to church and in the narthex, there's a whole bunch of people trying to sell you, well, I don't know, like clothes, books, computers, and all sorts of things, and they're going to tell you that buying these things will help you get closer to God. And just to be clear, this is different from fundraising or asking for donations to things. In the scenario where people are trying to sell you like the books and computers, they're keeping all the money for themselves and they're not donating it to people in need. So I know that would make me pretty angry. I mean, coming to church and it being all loud and distracting with people trying to sell me things that, like I said, I don't need. And like I said before, Jesus got really angry when this happened to him in our gospel today. So our gospel today comes from the book of John, chapter 2, verses 13 through 22. And I will read it in my deep blue kids Bible. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. He found in the temple those who were selling cattle, sheep, and doves, as well as those involved in exchanging currency sitting there. He made a whip out of ropes and chased them all out of the temple, including the cattle and the sheep. He scattered the coins and overturned the tables of those who exchanged currency. He said to the dove sellers, "Get these things out of here. Don't make my Father's house a place of business." His disciples remembered that it is written, "Passion for your house consumes me." Then the Jewish leaders asked him, "By what authority are you doing these things? What miraculous sign will you show us?" Jesus answered, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I'll raise it up." The Jewish leaders replied, "It took 46 years to build this temple, and you will raise it up in 3 days?" But the temple Jesus was talking about was his body. After he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered what he had said, and they believed the scriptures and the word that Jesus had spoken. So at the beginning of our gospel today, Jesus was really angry because he knew that people didn't really need to buy the animals or exchange money in the temple to worship God. And the people selling the animals and exchanging the money probably charged way too much. Just because people might think that like a dove sold inside the temple is better than a dove sold outside of the temple on the street, but really there's no difference. It's the same dove. So people were probably being cheated into buying expensive things that they just didn't need to worship God. And that made Jesus really angry. So he made a whip and he overturned tables and he scattered coins, but all to protect God's temple and the people who wanted to pray there in peace. And that's something that we can take away from this story. Well, Not the overturning tables part. Don't do that. People could get hurt. But the idea that Jesus protected those who were treated unfairly, especially when they were treated unfairly in God's house. And so that's our takeaway from the story today, that we can also try to help people who are being treated unfairly. And to help prepare us to do that, let's all pray together. Dear God, thank you for Jesus, who teaches us to help those treated unfairly. Help us to show love and justice to everyone. Amen. All right. Thank you, kids and families. I hope you have a wonderful week.